Oh,
Okay.
welcome. Hello. Thank you everyone for coming and tuning into this like virtual culinary adventure.
Mm.
This is the first ever Battle of the Cans, which is a virtual cook-off where we cook in because we all inside. My name is Cameran Hebb. I'm one of the hosts, and I'm currently quarantining in Harlem, New York.
And I'm Kelsey, and I'm hunkered down in Brooklyn.
Kelsey and I have known each other since middle school. Hey, girl. And she called me 2 weeks ago with this idea.
Yes. Yeah. Called Cam, because she's the go home or go big girl. And so we went big, went big. But really, I have a lot of friends who are really amazing cooks, and I've seen on the Instagram and on the Facebook, people are making really amazing dishes right now. And I think food is really about being creative. It's about relaxing. It's about, trying to be productive. Maybe that feels good. And I also think that it's about trying to bring people together. And since we can't do that in person right now, we're going to do it fucking virtually, Battle of the Cans, it's this virtual cook-off. It's kind of like if Iron Chef were with really nice people in quarantine. That's what we're doing.
Yes. How it worked is today we have 4 incredible, they're amazing contestants. And so they were all given 3 options of canned food a week ago. Canned food kind of because it's like a quarantining staple. And they had to pick one of the 3 to incorporate into their dish. So the canned food options that they were given were black beans, evaporated milk, or corn.
So they've made their dish today. They're going to get 3 minutes to talk it through. Someone might talk for 20 seconds. That's fine. That's what resonates with them, whatever it might be. While we're thinking about the dish, while we're looking at the dish, the judges are going to think about, as well as the viewers, first is creativity and innovation. So really thinking about what did they decide to make. Another piece of that is how they incorporated the can into their dish. So that kind of goes hand in hand with that creativity piece. How are they being innovated? What did they do with those black beans? The other piece is plating as well as presentation. This can be an underrated thing, but it's really important, right? Are we attracted to the dish, especially right now when we're not actually going to be tasting it? And then finally, taste. No, this isn't like a Willy Wonka situation, but we are going to have the person taste the dish. And then we're going to like watch their reaction. And then they're also maybe going to say something about it. So we can really get a vibe of like what they're feeling.
Yes. And there's a prize. What? Yes. The winner at the local technology. They get $50 to spend at a local business for takeout. Yes, local businesses, yes, right now. But yeah, we had an anonymous donor donate this money because they want to just sort of support people coming together like this right now. So it's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And we're also kind of talking about supporting a cause as well. So there's an organization called the Migrant Kitchen. And this was actually, I didn't kind of stumble upon this. I actually had a friend who'd worked with them. They might be a competitor, wink. But they're a really great organization. They work with immigrants and refugees, and they really try and promote their food in terms of making sure to hold on to its culture and its tradition. And so they do a lot of different cool things, but in terms of what we're talking about today, they're also focusing on providing meals to healthcare workers in New York City. So just as we're thinking about bringing community together through food, we just wanted to kind of give them a shout out as well, as if you're still like feeling this energy and this vibe and you want to like continue that there's someone that you could throw a few dollars to as well. And their information is in the description below.
Nice. Okay, let's get started. All right, so we are going to get to the contestants in just a minute, but we're first just going to introduce our judges. We have 3 incredible judges. So at first, I'd like to give a shout out to Kenji Hurlburt.
Hey guys!
Hey Kenji! Kenji, executive chef of the Queen's Kickshaw in Astoria. He's now a freelance.
God bless that place.
He's cooked all over the world and has 16 years of culinary experience. And your go-to quarantine dish, Kenji, you said is what?
Right now, I'm going hard into the pasta. I do kind of like a spaghetti. I guess I've been changing it up now. I guess it's kind of like carbonara now. Yeah, but I'll add some chicken and spinach. Go heavy on the garlic. You know, roast it nice and slow for a good flavor on that. So yeah, that's what I've been eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner now. So
love it. Where are you at right now?
Right now I'm in my basement apartment in Bushwick. Yeah, very exciting.
Yeah. All right, okay, babe. We'll see you in a minute.
Yeah. And our next judge that I have the honor of introducing is Nancy Hebb. I've known Nancy for some time. You might hear the Hebb similarity with Cameran Hebb and Nancy Hebb. And just so you know, it is Cam's mom. So there's a lot of really wonderful things I can say about her, but just to kind of give you a taste. Nancy has served as the director of the Bayview School of Cooking in Olympia, Washington for 8 years before relocating back to Florida. She taught in Naples Sur La Table culinary program for 3 years as a chef instructor. Throughout the years, Nancy has worked as a kitchen assistant with notable chefs and cookbook authors from Jacques Pepin to Ted Allen. And so in terms of in quarantine, I see maybe that right now, Nancy, you're into seafood. Is that something you've been cooking a lot?
Well, living in Florida, we really do have a bounty of seafood. And my go-to seafood has been a triple tail fish, which is a really nice mild fish. And I've been working a lot with that. And we have a season of, right now we're in a growing season. So we get fresh tomatoes and fresh produce, fresh fruit. So we're really lucky to make salsas and just some really great additions to our dishes. Easy.
That's awesome. That's great. Thank you.
Amazing. We'll see you soon, Mom.
Oh, yeah.
And lastly, the privilege of introducing Sara Abernethy. Sara, I met in college at UNC, and she is just the sweetest. She began as a singer and a theater artist, and she found a natural niche in the hospitality industry. And she has returned to her hometown of Raleigh, North Carolina, where she has turned over one of Raleigh's landmark restaurant spaces into such a badass elevated concept, the Y Hill Kitchen and Brewing. Did I say that right? Y?
You did. Bravo. Well done.
Oh my God. So babe, you're in North Carolina right now?
Yes. Kenji, I too am in a basement apartment. Alone. Yeah, in Raleigh.
Oh my God. And please, and we will give the information. Follow Sarah's restaurant on Instagram, and it's WYE Hill. Y Hill.
WYE, that's right.
Yeah, and their website. It's so cool. It looks beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Go girl. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. We're so glad to be here. So excited.
All right.
Okay.
Shall we?
Let's do it. Okay, let's welcome our first contestant, PJ.
Hi guys.
Hey, all right.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm PJ McCarroll, and I am currently quarantining in Hamilton Heights in Harlem with my friends Johnny Mercado and Rob Ruck. We have been in this one-bedroom apartment for a month now, and honestly, it's been great. I think it's strengthened our relationships with each other. It gets a little tense here and there. I saw in the email we're supposed to compare our quarantine situation with a dish, and I would say split pea soup, because we're like 3 peas in a pod, but with a little tension, a slice, things can get a little mushy. We're good though. We're good though. You know, it's a little bland, it's a little boring, but we're good. We're good. So today I have made my almost already famous white chili. I worked at a steakhouse in Kansas City for 6 years, and actually had the manager before I moved to New York 3 years ago come to me and pay me for this recipe. I'm checking my cue cards. I'm not a public speaker. Sorry.
Dude, you're so good.
Oh, okay, yeah. So my ex-manager bought this recipe. It's also a strong request at my family's Christmas soup dinner every year. I chose this recipe mostly because the key ingredient that really brings it together is a can of evaporated milk. What makes it a white chili is that you don't use tomatoes or black beans at all. Instead, it uses white beans, white onion, white pepper, chicken breast, and most importantly, a little queso dip thrown in at the end that really makes it white, makes it come together. The queso dip is the most imperative part to this soup. It adds a richness. It really brings out the smoky flavors of the different spices I use. And the evaporated milk is key to queso dip because if you're using hard cheeses like cheddar, you can't use cream or milk to melt it into for your cheese dip. The cheese won't blend smoothly. It'll separate and it'll burn to the bottom of your pan. So you absolutely have to have evaporated milk to do this. Let's see. That's it, I think, guys. That's my recipe. Let me give you a visual real quick. I woke up this morning freaking out because I forgot to grab a garnish. So I've got, if you can see this, I made a little tomato roast. I dug in the fridge. I found some celery green. I found a tomato. I made a little tomato roast for you.
Oh my God.
Got some greenery on top. I don't know how well you can see that. Ta-da! And that is the right color. And I haven't tasted it yet, but before we started this, my roommates were too hungry to wait, and they've both been gobbling down bowls in the living room right now. Let's see how this came out.
Looks great.
Good.
Yes, it's perfect.
Nice.
The smokiness, I can taste the cayenne. I can taste the cheese. I use turkey broth. You can use turkey or chicken broth. Most of the broth is actually, or most of the mixture is broth. You just add a little bit of the queso at the end. So it's not super cheesy, but that's super rich. It's a little spicy. It's delicious. I wish you guys could try some. My roommates are thrilled that we're doing this right now.
That sounds so good.
Oh my God.
Thank you, PJ. I just have to ask, you mentioned there's a Christmas soup party where everyone makes
my family. So we'll do like a traditional ham dinner on Christmas Eve, which is actually my birthday too. And then Christmas Day, we have 4 or 5 aunts, uncles, cousins. We pick people to make a soup, and we have 4 or 5 soups. It's like a little soup buffet, and we just go through and get our soup and do our white elephant gift exchange, and it's great. It's a good time.
Well,
But I made this the last 5-6 years at least at Christmas for my family. It's a good one.
Dude, yeah.
Love
Well, that chili sounds awesome. Christmas sounds awesome. Let's get some feedback from the judges. Kenji, what are your thoughts and feelings?
Well, let's go first with the tomato rose. I think that's an incredible garnish there. It's like a lost art. I haven't seen a tomato rose in probably I don't know, 6 years in my dishes. So, props to that. Really props to that. I really enjoyed that. I really like kind of the added flavor of the cayenne and really incorporating the evaporated milk into the queso. I think that was a really smart move, a really smart play there. And the plating, obviously, the plating was great. I think it was a very great, strong first showing there. I'm looking forward to what everyone else has to bring to the table.
Ooh,
I agree.
Yes.
And Nancy, what are your thoughts?
Well, I have to say, I'm pretty excited about a family Super Bowl. I think that's a great program for a Christmas. But I was really intrigued with this recipe, and I think I would like to underscore the fact that he also used the evaporated milk, because I think right now in quarantine we don't get out as often, and so we don't have that ability to always have fresh milk on hand. And most people only think of evaporated milk and making their fudge. And so I think this is kind of exciting that you can have an extension with this into some real interesting recipes and some new taste profiles. I had a question about your recipe. Looking and I read through it. about how much does this yield? You have about 6 cans of white beans in it too, about 2 pounds of meat protein. So, that the ratio seems like there's a lot of beans in it to the meat. So how much does this yield for us?
I've got probably 1.5 gallons, 2 gallons of soup here. Yeah, I've got plenty. I normally make a large batch because it's super easy to freeze, and then I can just throw it in a pot later.
That was my next question. So when you freeze it, you don't freeze it with the queso, do you? I mean, you make the cheese, you make your protein dish, and then you make your queso as you serve it?
No, actually, I freeze it with the queso. And then if you find upon reheating that it starts to separate, you can add just a little bit of milk and stir it back together, and it comes through fine.
All right. And then another thing about the cut corn you're using in your recipe, with the corn, do you recommend using, especially this time of the year, can you use a canned corn in it, or do you use a frozen corn? If you're using frozen corn, do you let it thaw and then put it in, or what do you recommend? Because you're not using years of corn.
You can use canned corn, and in that case, you just throw it right in the soup and let it cook with the rest. I actually used frozen corn and just sauteed it in a skillet with some salt, pepper, and a little olive oil real quick, and threw it on top.
What's your choice? What do you prefer?
I prefer using the frozen corn. I personally am not a huge fan of canned corn.
I'm not either. Yeah. So my question:
if I'm not going to go fresh, I'd rather go frozen.
If you're using a frozen corn too, do you want it thawed before you use it, or do you just throw it in frozen and
I threw it in the pan to saute it frozen?
Okay.
I didn't thaw it first. Yeah. Sometimes if you thaw it first, it can get too mushy.
Yeah. I know. Great. Yeah. It's a great recipe, and thanks for sharing it with us.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So, super.
Awesome. Thank you, Nancy. And Sarah, love to hear your thoughts as well.
Hey, PJ, what an amazing use of ingredients that probably most of us already have in our pantry. And all of us jerks have a can of evaporated milk. We all have one, right? And it's like, what the fuck do I use this can for? And so now you've given me this great idea, and I'm a super sucker for anything that has queso in it, a super duper sucker. So I loved the idea of using evaporated milk, and I probably will do it myself because I also have a block of cheddar in the fridge. So great. Yay. Queso for us for tonight.
You're all doing it.
Yes.
Hey.
Awesome.
Oh my God. Great. Thank you, judges. Also, before we go to our next contestant, just FYI, all of these recipes will be available to everyone. They're at a link in the description. There should be a link for the recipes. Yeah. But but yeah, we're really privileged that we have them, so you all are able to make them at home. But let's go on to our next amazing contestant. We have Meghan Ladwig.
Hey.
Hey, girl. Oh my God! Wait, we can't. Maybe. Keep talking.
I am sitting here quarantined in my bedroom in Washington, D.C. I have roommates, and I'm trying to be a good co-inhabitant, and so here I am. Is the ambulance on my end or yours? Do you know? I think it's on.
Dude, it's totally mine. I'm trying to.
Okay.
Might be.
So here I am, quarantined in Washington, D.C. And I think, if my quarantine were a dish, it would be less than a dish. It would be just a cup of coffee, because we are doing what we can to get through the day, and that is what I need to get through mine. So that is my dish.
Totally. Oh my God, well, Megan, we're so happy you're here. Do you want to just take us through it? Take us through what you made. Tell us more.
Sure. So I have made for you Chipotle black bean empanadas. And I will take you over here to part of the reason we're also in here is that the lighting in my kitchen has burned out, and we are not doing non-essential maintenance orders right now. So here we are. We're going with the natural light of my bedroom.
No.
All right.
Ooh.
So here's the dish.
God.
Well, let's see if we can.
Those are beautiful.
There you go. So this is a black bean, sweet potato, and red pepper empanada with a red pepper sauce on top. And honestly, I went with this recipe because I had all of these things in my house. I was not venturing far to get anything. So some things of an original recipe were definitely left out, but here we are. I also, I haven't started the bread making that everybody is getting into, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to just really knead some dough and make it into something else. So empanadas is what we have today.
Dude, oh, so fun. Well, thank you, Megan. Let's get some feedback. Also, I respect you made that without lighting in your kitchen. So let's just say, girl. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's Kenji. Kenji, where you at?
Yep, I'm here. Okay. First of all, I think it looks great. I mean, I'm a great lover of empanadas. Mama's Empanadas, shout out, please. Oh my gosh, I miss that place so much. But enough about me. I really like how full it is and how plump the empanadas are. My only concern is with empanadas, I also love sauce, and I love like it saturated in it. I feel like it looks a little dry. I'd love to see if I could get some actual confirmation on that, maybe a little taste test to see, because the filling also could determine whether it's moist enough to enjoy or not. So that's my little question / criticism for that. But otherwise, I really like the presentation, the clash of the red pepper sauce on the nicely baked empanada with a little bit of black beans on the side. I think it could be really good still. Just thinking it might be dry. So
Hey Megan, would you mind giving us a bite? Oh, there she is.
Decidedly not
okay.
dry.
Okay. Yeah.
I also have a lot of leftover sauce. I am dipping it in. So that was
awesome.
Yeah, for the presentation.
Okay. Sweet.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that looks super good, super moist.
Getting hungry. Thank you, Kenji.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. All right, Nancy, aka Mom.
Oh yeah. Okay. So listen, the empanadas. I actually had taken a cooking class down in Mexico, and the empanadas were much more smaller. They were like appetizer style. So I was surprised how big these were. But that's when when you're in New York, go big, right? But I have a couple questions for you, Megan. One, on your empanada recipe, could you give me just an idea of how much flour, the proportion of flour to butter and egg? Because I'll tell you what, those are really tricky with people, and you either have too much flour or too much dough. And I'm particularly not a baker, but I know that you had it mentioned flour, butter, and eggs. So what would be if you were using a couple cups of flour, approximately how many eggs were you talking about, and how much butter?
Yeah, so I used just over 2 cups of flour. I have some whole wheat flour in here as well. I was running out of the white unbleached, so we mixed in some whole wheat. Tastes great. In the dough itself is the flour. I cut in some butter. There's a little bit of salt in there as well. And really, that's it. You just let it rise. Then there's you do put some water in there.
Yeah.
It rises in the fridge. Take it out, roll it out. There's egg wash on there as well.
Oh,
the egg was for the wash. Was the egg in the dough?
There's also egg in the dough.
So you had 1 egg to the 2 cups of whole flour, and then about how much butter? About 4 tablespoons, or
half a cup?
Half a cup. Okay.
Ooh, that sounds good.
And then the other thing I wanted to question was the sweet potato. How did you prepare the sweet potato? Could you have mashed it, or did you dice it and saute it? I know I saw what you did, in the filling, but is there a possibility of mashing it as well?
I think you could probably mash it. It does get very soft. You cook it on the stove top first.
Right.
So then it stays, it's good, nice to have some structure still left intact on that sweet potato. Put it on the stove, then put it in the oven for about half an hour.
And then the other thing I'm looking at, and I see I'm frozen on it, but that's okay, was the
very concentrated.
Listen to me, darling. Just hang in there. Because it was like a romesco sauce.
Mm-hmm.
And without the tomatoes, and I love anything with roasted red peppers, and to buy them out of a jar is so quick and easy. So I have to say, if anybody wants to dip this thing, they could put it in that queso from PJ's recipe if you want to add a little extra cheese on it. Because I'll tell you what, go ahead.
I was going to say, I was making a sauce with what I had, and so this was definitely where the creativity had to come in. I usually make this for other dishes. So red pepper with the empanada might not be my first thought. So I put some red pepper in the empanada, made the Romanesco for the top. I did not have almonds, so I had to pick some out of a trail mix, and that's how we got to the sauce in front of me today.
Oh my God.
Carolyn, you did an amazing job out of your bedroom with limited ingredients. I'm impressed.
Yes.
Oh my God.
All right.
Meg's in DC, Mom. Just
Well,
world.
Yeah,
I got all.
we're good.
Thank you. We're gonna Sarah. Sarah, you there?
Hey, I'm here.
Hey, girl.
Megan, brava. What a beautiful dish, and what an awesome way to like make something super nourishing and comfort foody that's also got lots of veggies in it. It's like very sneaky of you, which I really appreciate, because we're all about the comfort food right now, and it's hard to remember to eat your veggies. Curious how long you let the dough chill in the fridge, and if it comes out, like, is it super sticky to work with, or are you, depending on how long you let it chill, is it pretty like tactile?
Can you hear me? I let it chill in the fridge for about an hour. It does need that full hour, and so I was a little bit pressed for time at the end, but let it sit for an hour, pulled it out. You can roll it out with some flour on a countertop, and it really does stay together.
I mean, it looks like a super approachable dish. I never would think to make empanadas myself, but now after seeing this recipe, I'll probably give it a try. Jealous. I wish I was eating them with you.
Sure. I know there's a lot of baked goods happening at this time, and you don't often think like savory baked good, Okay. Kels, did I lose you? Decosta? Okay. All right. We have a frozen screen. Technology, virtual life. Here we are. Okay. Well, I think she's coming back. Oh my God, you're back. Oh my God, I missed you so much. Oh my God, so glad you're back.
I was like, is it you? Is it me? I don't know.
I know.
Okay. It's me.
You've seen one of us. I think we have our third contestant.
We do. Yes. I'd like to welcome to the stage Lucy Decosta. Hey, Lucy.
Hi, guys.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. I wasn't that nervous for this, but now I kind of am because I feel like everybody else is really prepared and I'm not, but that's okay.
Hey, you're prepared.
So I'm currently quarantining in Coopville, Washington, alone in my apartment. But I am an essential worker, so I am working as well. So I'm out and about. But today I made shakshuka, which is, let me see if I can, which is.
Oh my God.
So that's for you guys today. I like to go out and go to brunch. And I use black beans instead of the white beans. And I like to challenge myself with recipes. And so I had shakshuka at brunch one day, and I just really wanted to eat this. So I made it, and I really liked it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And let me try it for you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Looks great.
Ooh.
That's good.
Thumbs
So
up.
I'm back.
Thumbs up.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. Let's hear some thoughts. Kenji, how do we feel?
Oh man, shakshuka. It's like such a home run, just in general, just like really nice stewed tomatoes with the egg baked on top. I really like the addition of the beans there. Nice and hearty, good incorporation in that. I really like the presentation with the herbs on top. I don't think we give a lot of attention to herbs these days because I guess they are kind of like the non-essential workers of the culinary workforce, if you will. You don't really need them at the second, but I really like that, kind of like that attention to detail there. And also, I think that was like feta cheese on top I saw crumbled on top. That was really nice as well. Dare I say it might be a little safe. It might be a little safe for this competition. I wasn't thinking it before, but now after seeing everyone else bringing what they're bringing to the table, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know. Who would have thought that shakshuka would have been the safe play? So
Laying it
but still really, really tasty.
Hey, we got to put the question out there.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you. Okay, the question is out there.
Woo, back on.
What do you think?
All right, so I'm up, right? Well, let me tell you, I'm a sucker for anything with smoked paprika. Oh my gosh, I was lucky enough to go to Budapest this last fall, and boy, did I load up. I love the smokiness of that flavor, and it just elevates paprika to a new level. The other thing I really like, Lucy, is the fact that, you know, I'm going to give props to everybody. You guys upped your game on this one. When they said they were going to be doing recipes, I just figured you were all going to like pull out something like 4 cans, you know, do a little twist on vegetable soup. And you guys really upped the ante. You're going for very complex layers, not complexity in cooking, but just layers that when you're tasting it, you're really enjoying it. So I was looking at what you had in here, and I could see when I see a recipe, when I'm inspired enough to go research it, like the shakshuka, I've never heard of it. So I went and did a little research on it and realized that it was from North Africa and a lot from Middle East. That explains the feta on it. So that truly created a dish that was unique and different. And I have to say, I'm so tired of seeing eggs on basically avocado. I mean, the mashed avocado stuff's gone. I'm tired of it on the sweet potato hash. That this was a really nice welcome change. Good work, Lucy. The great recipe to try. I'm anxious to try all of them, to be quite honest, but this was really interesting. Nice job.
Wow, thank you, Nancy. We're getting some really diverse thoughts and feelings about this. Okay, Sarah, how do you feel?
Want to give Lucy props for incorporating brunch into this competition. That was definitely an unexpected turn. And I know that we're all missing brunch right now. Also for me, when I get asked for advice on putting a dish together, the pro tip that I always give is fresh herbs and throw a poached egg on it. On everything. Put it on a salad, put it on your pasta, put it on whatever, put it on your nachos. And I just think adding a poached egg is such like a yummy umami flavor to everything. And then you get to break the yolk and it just makes the dish really beautiful. So I thought this was really lovely. Well done.
Awesome. Thank you.
Oh, yes. Oh my God, it's flying by.
It is.
Oh my God, I'm so inspired. Okay, we have one more. We have one more contestant. We have the wonderful Jen and Tyler.
Woo!
Hey, what's up, y'all? Oh my God, how are we doing? Where are you at?
We're in Queens, New York. I feel like I'm shouting. Is it coming off that way?
You sound great. You sound really good.
It sounds amazing.
Yeah, we've been sheltering or staying safer at home or whatever the appropriate vernacular is with our dog last 6 weeks to 10 months. I guess we thought that we'd compare our quarantine experience to a chicken pot pie because everything's happening on the inside. We don't really get out much.
Very true.
And what did we cook? So we saw the options and the time of the show being like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which unless you're, AARP member isn't dinner time. So we thought we would like make something that was more like snacky. And one of our favorite recipes for nachos involves black beans. And so we'll give you a quick look at it. It's nachos, but Indian. So we have like a lot of Indian spices and like sauces and chutneys around. And so it's a good way to kind of use some of those up. The cool thing about this dish is it has a chutney that you make fresh, and it has a chonk, which is like a ghee-based, like flavored ghee that you put on kind of after it's done. And so really nachos, it's like nachos with cheese, but it has this amazing cilantro and serrano pepper chutney and it has kind of layers of cheese. The black beans are mashed, and then it has which is ghee with cumin seeds and some other spices involved, and then we put some tamarind sauce on top of it, and then a little bit of yogurt, and then that's your nacho. It's like, I mean, it's not the prettiest looking thing in the world because it's kind of a mess to eat, but it's delicious. And I think our recipe says something like serves 5 to 6, but it's just 2 of us and a dog, and it doesn't reheat well, so we're gonna eat all of it.
Fun and festive, and it's super easy to make, so it's always like something that we kind of think of when we're like, how can we spice this up?
We're also making dinner, so that's if I disappear to stir some onions, that's what's happening.
Live your life, guys. Live your life. Oh man. All right, that's great. Let's go to our judges. Kenji.
Oh man, like Indian nachos. That's a ballsy move right there. I think that's the most high risk play in this competition I've seen. Did it pay off? I think flavor-wise, I think you're looking at something very unique. I really like the complexity of the cilantro chutney along with the tamarind sauce and the yogurt. I think that's going to bring some really unique flavors. I'm just going to be upfront. I don't think it looks that pretty. Just saying. It's a little bit of a mess, but maybe it's like in that Jackson Pollock kind of style, where it's like, there is some inherent beauty in there. I'm just reaching for it right now. I'm just reaching to see that. That's all. But I'm really impressed with definitely like the creative risks that you guys have taken, and just very impressed in general with the whole field of contestants. This is gonna be a tough one for me. It's gonna be a really tough one to decide. So.
Damn. Kenji, you might be our Simon Cowell. You might be emerging indeed.
You have Jackson Pollock. That's
no. I love it.
Wild. Yeah.
Nancy Hebb.
All right, Kenji, message to you. I like Jackson Pollock. Message to Tyler, darling. I'm living down in Florida. No, I don't eat my dinner at 4 o'clock, but a lot of people that do. Okay. All right, yeah. And the only thing they do make down here in Florida are reservations, so you can imagine how people are hurting for sure right now. But I am going to say, when I look at a recipe and I try to decide, do I want to make this, there's got to be a something that draws me in, something that's unique and different. And yeah, I love Indian food. I don't know that much. I'm not as well versed. I know a lot of Thai and I'm Vietnamese. So I have a couple of questions about your ingredient list. But I will say, without a doubt, I don't care how, I thought the presentation was quite interesting because when I talked about those complex layers of tastes and foods, you can just dig in all over that platter and pull off something. So my first question was, when you're using the tamarind, you gave a substitution in your recipe that you can use a tamarind sauce, or you could use, it stated, date syrup or maple syrup with a tablespoon of lime juice. And I see a lot of people having maple syrup and lime juice. I don't see a lot of people having tamarind in their pantry. I do have tamarind because we do that in a lot of Thai cooking. Okay. But have you tried it in different ways? I froze up again. Have you tried it in different ways? It's probably the gremlins in the system. If I'm saying something they don't like, they go freezer. But anyway, have you used it in other ways? Have you used?
Yeah, we've tried it with a bunch of different sweeteners and tried to make it. We don't always have tamarind, so we just kind of did like a condiment review of our fridge the other day and realized it was in there.
Hey. Oh, there she is.
Syrup. We've used like a lighter molasses even before. So yeah, we've used different kinds of sweeteners to replace the tamarind, and it worked pretty well. It's not my favorite part of the nacho dish anyway, that sweetness, but it is kind of it offsets a lot of those really intensely savory parts of it.
I like it.
Nice.
I like, it's kind of like the 5 flavors, like Thai food. You want sweet, sour, you want it all in there. So I really like that approach to it. One of the things that really intrigued me was chunk. And I did. So when I get a recipe that really decides, oh my gosh, I got to try something. I want to explore it. I research it. I actually went in and I was lucky enough to meet Madhur Jaffrey, who was an Indian cook and an actress. And, she wrote several cookbooks from India. And they were saying that the chunk is divided, throughout the different regions. But what I thought was very cool about it, and I am going to use this, is that they said it was a mixture of spices cooked in an oil. So it doesn't have to be ghee either. It could be like olive oil. And I will tell you, I'm going to, straight after this, I am going to make some, because it seems like that. Remember I told you it elevates the taste? Brings it up a notch. I think you did a great job. I like the fact you did try something really off the wall. Or off the rails in cooking. And I think people, what I love about New Yorkers is the fact that they do explore different cultural foods and they bring them in their kitchen. So bravo. I love the recipe. I'm excited to try it, and thank you for sharing it with us. I enjoyed.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mom. I've also never had frozen so much in my life. Sarah, hey.
Oh man. Kenji, I was with you with the tomato rose. That was a gorgeous garnish, but I am not with you with this plating. I think this plating makes me want to put my face right on it. Like I just love that it is it's a little sploogey, it's like this is a shared dish. Let's dive right in. And I'm just so intrigued by the combination of flavors here, and I think this was a risky dish to take, or a risky dish to try. But also I need to see you taste it.
Oh
yeah.
I need to live vicariously through you.
Ooh.
Oh my god!
Literally, like you can pick and choose what you want to eat, which is really nice. You can get a little bit of spice.
I bet if we got up there with a camera and did like a picture of that nasty giant pile of nachos, that image would like just roll.
I'm drilling a little bit, right? I feel it.
I agree with you, Nancy. I think I might give this one a try tonight. We were actually planning on making saag paneer anyway, so like maybe we'll just like switch it up and throw some tortilla chips in there. Really, that looks awesome. Or be a friend. Have me over for dinner, please.
Gorgeous. Thank you, Sarah. Oh, wow. Everyone, please, round of applause. You guys, such different, like interesting, and like what a great variety. So thank you to everyone who participated. It flew by. And it's now actually time to vote. So at this time, each of the judges, please send what your choices are to our grand tally master, Josh. And audience, please, this is where you come in because your vote counts. Below us, there's a link that's like the BIT link. And if you hit on it, it's a poll, and just choose who you think should win. And it's such a hard choice because everyone really, really kicked it in. But so everyone has just like a couple minutes to do that, and then we're going to announce the winners. And Kels, we're going to do a little chit chat right now because we have some things to announce.
Oh, we do. Yeah, we're talking about next week.
Yes. So this Battle of the Cans is going to go on for another 3 weekends. It's a long extravaganza. And we have our 3 incredible judges who are going to be joining us every weekend and from around the country, freeze or no freeze. They're here with us. Bless them. Next week, we have 5 competitors, actually. And it is Sarah Patak, Lynn Hewitt, Maria Bond, Mo and Jeff Goltz, and Sassy.
Yeah, I'm really excited about all of them. I think we're going to have a good roundup, good little battle happening in a very loving way. That's all best friends, you know.
And we also, we're going to announce the cans. So each week there's 3 different canned food options. So this week was black bean, evaporated milk, and corn. And Kels, do you want to say what are next week's?
Yeah, just a little drum roll, please. Yes, so the cans are pineapple, olives, any type is fine, and chicken broth. Yeah, there it is right there. Yeah.
What?
Whoa. I feel like you can go in a lot of different directions. I'm excited to see. I don't want to like, you know, put any ideas out there. I want it to be like a blank slate, but just whoa. Yeah.
Coming.
Little thought bubbles just everywhere. Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be fun. And another thing is, y'all below us, we mentioned earlier, but we have recipes that you can access. So everyone today, Megan, Lucy, Tyler and Jen and PJ all submitted their recipes that they used today. And so you can make them. So if you click that link, and also Nancy Hebb also submitted a recipe for black bean salsa, which she thought would be really nice in case anyone wants to make some salsa with some fairly simple ingredients to obtain during quarantine. So that recipe is thrown in as well.
That looked good.
Looks so good.
Very good. Yeah.
And yeah.
You go, Greg.
No, go.
Okay. Oh, you take a drink. Yeah. Yeah, and just one more kind of final shout out for the Migrant Kitchen. Again, the information is there if you want to go ahead and take a look. That is an organization that works with refugees and immigrants. And right now, the cooking that they're all creating is focused on helping healthcare workers in New York City. So just kind of a reminder that that's there. If you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do with all this energy about food? I don't want to cook. Maybe, you know, you could give $1 or $2 out. So just kind of giving a shout out to them again.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a really amazing organization.
Cam, dude, what are you cooking right now? We haven't chatted about that. What's going on?
I've been doing a lot of, sirens.
Yeah.
Rice. I've been doing a lot of rice and beans, like just like it's like big batch time, you know, like a bunch of like different veggies, rice and beans, and then I like eat it for like 3 days.
Very hearty, taking care of the bod. Yeah, I like it.
What are you, Kels?
I've been doing a lot of soups. I realized why my mom always made vegetable soups, because you can just put all these like different veggies and you just like blend them up and then you're like, hey, here you go. And like you don't really know how many vegetables you're eating or whatever. So that's been good. Kind of basic, but you know.
But comforting.
Totally. Yeah.
Cozy. Dude, we have a winner.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Okay.
It is in. It is in. We have a winner, and I think it was close. Yeah, we had some close tap. We're gonna do drum roll. The winner of the first Battle of the Cans is Jen and Tyler.
Oh my God! Oh my God! There it is.
Right. Congratulations!
Cooking now.
We'll be in touch with you about how to get you your prize money to have a little meal on us.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Oh my God. Great job. Oh, and then a dog.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
What happened to the volley?
Perfect.
Aww.
Oh, thank you. Thank you guys. And really everyone, so great. These recipes are incredible. I'm definitely going to try to make one. I think Nancy Hebb, aka Mom, wants to share something about the black bean salsa recipe. So we're going to just thank you, everyone. This is going to be our last moment. Please tune in and support people in the following weekends and make these recipes and be safe because it's a stressful time.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you, everyone who participated in this round, for all of your energy and your work and reading our emails. And Yeah, thank you, everyone. Take care. And now black bean salsa.
If she,
Well, I'm not on, but that's okay.
Oh,
Nancy, Mom.
Yeah. Well, I'm not on.
You know. Well,
okay.
it was a good try. It was a good try.
Maybe next week.
I'll call you after this, Mom. I hope you're okay. And again, thank you, judges, contestants. You guys are amazing.
Yeah.
And we had an amazing dude who made all this happen behind the scenes on StreamYard. So shout out to Paul. Yay. All right, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.